Me again. Now I've got some miscellaneous thoughts for you of things I've learned over the years doing sound, running audio in various churches, schools, teaching students, just all kinds of places that I want to share with you. Let's start with batteries. I've got our wireless microphone here, our Shure QLXD. Batteries are inside. Always take the batteries out. When you're done with a rehearsal, not so important. It's not critical at the end of the day because you're coming back tomorrow. But when you're done with the show, you need to pull the batteries out. These batteries have a tendency to actually degrade over time, and they will leak inside, and you're going to have to take this apart and scrape out all of that residue because it will continue to eat away. It's battery acid. It'll continue to eat away at the battery. Not good. So when you're done with the show, and the microphones aren't going to be used for several weeks, especially months over the summer. Oh my goodness, please take the microphones and take the batteries out over the summer months. And as always, the flat part of the battery always goes to the spring-loaded section and then just push it in. At our high school at Shawnee Mission West, we've actually started using rechargeable batteries, much more cost-effective. Will last a long, long time. I spent a couple of $100 the first year we bought them and bought 60 batteries, 80 batteries, something of that nature, and chargers. And it cost me about 1.5 times what it cost to battery a show. And now I've used those batteries for about 3 years, 4 years. So much more cost effective. You just have to have a place to be able to plug in multiple chargers so that the next day for rehearsal, your batteries are always ready. The rechargeable batteries have gotten better over the years. Used to be 15, 20 years ago, you probably couldn't get a couple of hours out of a AA rechargeable. Now you can get 5 and 6 hours, which will be more than enough for a show. So batteries, there's one thing. Another thing you're going to need for actors is what I call mic tape. All of my actors at school all call it mic tape. It's really medical tape, right? It's a clear medical tape. You can get it at Walgreens or CVS or go online. You can buy them in bulk. I think 60-yard rolls or whatever. This is like the 1-inch version, but it will hold a microphone in place if you need it, if it doesn't wrap around the ear properly. That will hold the microphone in place. And even oftentimes we'll tape it to their neck, and the microphone cable will actually run down their shirt to keep it out of sight, and taping it to their neck keeps the slack and the tension in the back of the neck so they can turn naturally, but it keeps the cable from showing out. So microphone tape, aka medical tape. Don't get the paper. I don't think that works as well. So that gaff tape is a must. You must have gaff tape. I keep silver rolls. I'll usually buy that at the beginning of the year so I have it all season, all year long. The tiny skinny rolls, is known as spike tape. Again, I think it's 60 yards. This is pro spike tape. I get it. Sometimes I'll order from tapeworks.com. Sometimes I'll just go to Amazon. The price is very similar. In spike tape, you can get multiple colors. So when you're spiking things on the floor where they go, you can use various colors so it's easy to see. If you use all the same color, you can imagine how easy it would be to get confused and get lost. It tears. It's just like duct tape, except, sorry about that, except for the fact that it does not leave a residue. The difference between spike tape and duct tape is lack of residue. If you just put this down and you use it for 2 or 3 weeks for a show, you'll be able to pull it up without a problem. You put gaff tape down, it will leave a nasty residue on your stage, worse yet on your cables. That's why when you see the end credits after a movie, you'll see a gaffer. That's a taper. His job on the movie set is to tape down cables so they're safe, so nobody's going to fall and get hurt, or they'll tape cables together, and they use gaff tape. The gaffer uses gaff tape. Gaffer does not use duct tape. Okay, it is more expensive than duct tape, but it's that way for a reason. I also keep multiple rolls of the 2-inch black gaff, so that you can tape things on stage where you want it to disappear, You can also get it up into 3-inch rolls. And you can get multiple colors in that as well, but I don't usually use too much of the colored 2-inch gaff tape. Last thing, wrapping of cables. Too many times with electric cables, with microphone cables, sometimes lighting cable, I'll see students, especially because they've seen parents do this, but sometimes teachers, we're guilty as well. You'll take, notice this is a really tiny cable. This is a small little audio cable, not a microphone cable, but bear with me. They'll take it and they'll wrap it around their arms. That is a cardinal sin. You should be fired for that. No, I'm kidding. But don't wrap it around your arm. That's very stressful on the cable. You end up pulling it by accident just because you're trying to keep the kinks out and knots out. But the reality is it actually puts knots and kinks into it. So when you're wrapping cables, if it's a 10 foot, 15, 20, 30, even I go up to 50-foot cables, I wrap it like a lasso. So you're going to take the cable, and what you're actually going to do is you're going to twist it in your fingertips. I'll get it out here, and I'm going to twist, and you can kind of see the cable. It starts to lay as I move my hands forward. If I don't twist, it just kind of comes in, and then you get this funky little twist in it. If I take it and twist it in my fingers and move my hands together, now it's going to lay flat. I'll do that again. I'll pull it out, and I'll lay it, and I'll twist it in, and it will lay flat. And I can continue to do that, twist in my fingers, just twist it in, and it will lay flat. And again, I can do that. I usually do that with up to 50-foot cables, and I've learned to do it pretty quickly now. And your cables will hang neatly, and they're going to hang nice, and they're not going to get a bunch of kinks in it. The true test, if you take that cable, extension cord, microphone cable, and you throw it on the floor, you hold on to one end, and you throw it across the floor, if you've done it well, it will actually just spin right out like a snake and just goes out straight. And that's a great sign. I have all of my students at the high school practice that skill. They can't be on my sound team until they learn how to wrap a cable. And you can also get them all virtually the same length, which is very helpful when you're hanging cables up and putting things away, that they all kind of match. All right, so there's some little tidbits that'll help your equipment last longer, help you mark things, just things that I've found over the years that have been helpful to myself and to my students. Good luck.